All right, let's talk about a huge shift that's happening right now in digital advertising. Seriously, this is a change that's taking power away from the giant tech platforms and, putting it right back into the hands of real people, like you and me.
The whole story really starts with this one simple chart. And honestly, it's something we all know intuitively, right? Look at the massive gap in trust between a recommendation from a friend and some random sponsored ad online. Seeing it laid out like this just shows you the huge problem that modern advertising is facing.
And that gap? Well, it's created what you could call an ad trust crisis. We're just drowning in sponsored content, pop-ups, and targeted ads everywhere we look. So what's our natural reaction? We just tune it all out. And that is a massive headache for anyone trying to get a message to an audience.
And this is where the big idea really clicks into place. This quote from our source material absolutely nails it. For years, the whole game was about buying reach, just getting in front of as many eyeballs as you possibly could. But the new game, the new currency, is trust. That's what really matters now.
So, if that old model is just not cutting it anymore, what's the alternative? Well, that brings us right to the heart of this whole thing, the human ad network. So, what is it exactly? It's actually really simple. It's a system where brands pay you, a real person, to share their message with your own network. Your friends, your family, the people who actually follow and trust you. It's basically word-of-mouth marketing, but built to scale up.
And look, this isn't just some nice idea on paper. The data we're seeing is pretty incredible. An ad that's shared by a real person on their own profile gets over 60% more engagement than the exact same ad when a brand pays to push it as a sponsored post. That is a game-changing difference.
Okay, so we know what it is, and we know it's working like crazy. But why? Why is this model so much more effective? Let's dive into the psychology of what's going on here.
It really all comes down to this simple, universal truth, doesn't it? An algorithm can get super smart. It can target you based on your interests, where you live, what you just searched for, but it can never, ever replicate the genuine trust you have in a friend. That personal thumbs up is just something a targeted ad can't compete with.
This slide just lays out the two different mindsets perfectly. The old way was all about reach. The goal was just to be the loudest voice in the room. But the new way, the goal is to be the most trusted voice. The key metric isn't how many people you reach, it's something called relationship density, how strong your connections actually are.
And this whole idea didn't just pop up out of thin air. It's really the next logical step from trends we've all been seeing for years. Think about the rise of micro-influencers, affiliate links, the explosion of user-generated content. These were all pointing the way to this exact shift.
And here's something that's really important right now. In a world where AI can just churn out endless amounts of content, one thing becomes incredibly scarce, and therefore incredibly valuable: genuine human credibility. AI can write the script, it can edit the video, but it can't build the years of trust you have with the people in your life. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how does it actually play out in the real world? Let's take a look.
For the average person, the whole process is unbelievably simple. A brand offers a reward. Think of it like lunch money, maybe $70 to $100. You just grab their video and some text, you share it to your own social profile, and bam, you get paid. It is literally that easy.
And what's so brilliant about this model is how flexible it is. On one end of the spectrum, you could have a giant company like Chevy paying 100,000 of its fans to share a Super Bowl ad. But on the other end, you could have a local pizza place offering its customers cash or a free pizza to share a promotion and get more people in the door. It just works at any scale.
So, let's zoom out for a second, because the really crucial point here is that this is so much more than just a new marketing trick. We're talking about a fundamental shift in the entire power dynamic of the internet. For the last 10, 15 years, the big winners online have been the platforms, right? The Metas, the TikToks of the world. But in this new model, the value flows directly to the most trusted people. A person with 800 followers who really engage with them and trust their opinion suddenly becomes way more valuable than an account with 1 million followers who couldn't care less.
And if you think this is some small fringe idea, think again. The source material we're looking at mentions a planned Super Bowl campaign valued at $40 million that won't even air on television. It's going to be distributed entirely through a human ad network. This is happening at the highest levels.
Which really brings us to the final, most important takeaway. In a world that is just so incredibly crowded and noisy, where everyone is screaming for attention, that genuine, earned trust has become the last real unfair advantage.
So we'll leave you with this question to chew on. As technology and algorithms get smarter and smarter, is that authentic, real human connection the one thing they will never ever be able to truly replicate?